Matt Bryant, thank you, and welcome to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, as we continue on at the Little League World Series. We got a dozen teams left on the journey toward a champion, and by the end of the day, we'll be down to the 8 best Little League teams in the world. Cut on and miss. This kid is sick. The throw from Contreras. Perfect! Inning over.
Right up the middle, she delivers a hard hit. Triple for Nash Carter. This one is driven to center. The bat is flipped and it is gone.
Welcome to ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series presented by T-Mobile. Day 7, a gorgeous afternoon on this Tuesday, ready to go after what was a wonderful day yesterday. We had 8 undefeated teams here duking it out. Let's start on the United States side of things, where the team from Seattle has been hot ever since the state tournament. They took down Tennessee, who's here for a 3rd year in a row. Look at this swing from Texas's DJ Jablonski. He admires it. We admire him. Texas 2-0 after a win over California. Meanwhile, on the international side of things, this was one of the best games we've had here. Curacao, mainstays here in Williamsport, was down to its last strike when Nasir El Osais went bridge in a stunner against Venezuela. Then Chinese Taipei followed up a perfect game in its opener with merely a no-hitter against Japan. They are good, and Fan Chun-Jun throws gas. So you see these 4 undefeated teams. They're in the driver's seat, and for them, with a win tomorrow, they would reach Saturday's semifinals. Meanwhile, everyone else playing today must win to continue. And that starts right now in the international bracket. Let's start with Tijuana, Mexico. They are familiar with winning elimination games already on their ride this summer. They go up against Maracaibo, Venezuela. No ill effects from that loss to Curacao yesterday. One of the most dramatic games of the entire tournament. With that, we say hello and thanks for joining us. He's Todd Frazier. You know him. Mike Monaco with you. Sebastian Salazar joins us shortly. All right, we call it the Frazier factor. You sit in that chair. We get craziness. Yesterday was wild.
Yeah, well, I blame it on you. Whenever I come in here, the excitement gets bigger. This has been a fantastic World Series so far. Coming back over to the international side from yesterday, electricity. We didn't know when it was going to happen in the first inning, the last inning. It took the last pitch in the 6th inning to see one go over the fence. And a crazy, crazy day yesterday.
Yeah, we've got you stiff-arming people up here in the booth when you see a ball leave the bat like that. You got to win today for all these teams playing. Let's start with Mexico and Jorge Lizárraga. He's done it on the mound, and he's done it with the bat as well.
Yeah, this is the guy Mexico's going to lean on. He's one of their prolific hitters. He's one of their prolific pitchers as well. But he's not going to be on the mound today, as we know. Great left-handed pitcher. He's going to go out, and they're going to look to lean on him tremendously today. It's win or go home time. So they're going to have the big bats come up, drive in some runs. He's 4 out of his last 5 at-bats. He's been dominating, getting hits. He is that lefty that they love. He's quiet, he's shy, but not with the bat, as you're going to see today.
Yeah, that's the personality type for him, and signs of a smile as his teammates trying to get him loose before the big game here today. The opponent is Venezuela. They've got a guy in Leonard Contreras who was in the middle of everything yesterday in that game against Curacao, and we never cease to be impressed by the things we hear from these youngsters. He's with Sebastian Salazar.
Guys, we ask every player here at the Little League World Series who their favorite player is. Only Leonard Contreras answered Jackie Robinson. We got to get an explanation why. Jackie Robinson, ¿por qué tu jugador favorito?
Primero que todo, gracias a Dios por esta oportunidad, y Jackie Robinson viene siendo mi jugador favorito porque he visto los juegos de esos de Grandes Ligas, que usan nada más el 42 una vez al año, y quise investigar la vez que era, y investigué, y era el primer hombre negro en jugar béisbol, y me asombró. Fue algo impactante y que me impactó, porque me representa a mí, a mi color, a toda mi gente.
He was saying that knowing and learning the story of Jackie Robinson, that he was the first black player to ever play, was very impactful for him because he represents not just the player himself, but his people. And of course we know He's representing Venezuela right now. ¿Qué para ti significa representar a Venezuela en este evento?
Es muy asombroso representar a mi bandera y mi país, a mi gente. Se ve muy bonito representar a toda esa gente que confía en mí.
He says a wonderful experience to represent his country, his flag, and all those people who have supported him along the way. Guys, back up to you.
Amazing perspective from the youngster, Leonard Contreras. He and Venezuela fight to continue their summer against Mexico right here in our first game of the day. Then the next two, 3 o'clock Eastern time, Tennessee and Nevada. 5 o'clock, Japan and Panama. And the nightcap, California, Rhode Island. Mexico's big inning continues. Strike 3 call. Sanchez fires him up. The Little League Baseball World Series on ESPN is presented by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Team Mexico getting ready with dugout ahead of the ball game here today. The kids from Tijuana got a win to continue. Let's meet their team.
Mi nombre es Alfredo Chacón y mi jugador favorito es Salvador Pérez.
Mi nombre es Santiago Hernández y mi comida favorita es el sushi.
Mi nombre es Aras Laborín y mi cantante favorito es Maroon 5.
Mi nombre es Leonardo Partida y mi comida favorita enchiladas.
Mi nombre es Jorge Cota y mi jugador favorito es Ronald Acuña Jr.
Mi nombre es Jonathan Juárez y mi jugador favorito es Juan Soto. Mi nombre es Jorge Izárraga y mi comida favorita son las entomatadas.
Mi nombre es Mayolo Peña y mi jugador favorito es Juan Soto.
Mi nombre es Andrés Rubio y mi postre favorito es la nieve de chocolate.
Mi nombre es Gabriel Leiva y mi jugador favorito es Ray Turner.
Mi nombre es Jorge Villa y el trabajo de mis sueños es ser veterinario.
Mi nombre es Yamil Mandujano y mi materia favorita es español.
Mi nombre es Marco Mejía y mi atleta favorito es Michael Jordan.
All right, here comes Mexico. They lost their first game to Japan, won their second game against Canada. And this is the 12-man batting order for Team Tijuana. Remember, everybody hits before the lineup turns over. Continuous batting order, and you really like the bottom of their lineup.
Yeah, I do. They've been coming up big. You'll be talking about them a lot today. They dominate against Canada, and you see their big guns, 3, 4, 5 hitters haven't done much. They've hit, but they're not producing the RBIs. So for them, 7 RBIs, 5 runs in the bottom of the lineup. That is fantastic.
Well, they face Luis Vargas on the mound for Venezuela. He's going to turn 13 years old in a few weeks. They call him La Regadera, and he's on the bump in this one.
Yeah, Luis, not that overpowering. He's going to throw a lot of soft stuff here today. Try and manipulate where he wants those hitters to swing.
Jorge Lizárraga, who he spotlighted, leads off for Mexico. The lefty, El Zurdo. He's 4 for 5 at the plate, as we told you, here at the Little League World Series. Did a little bit of everything Sunday against Canada in that 10-1 win where Mexico had an 8-run 4th inning, the most runs scored in an inning by any team at this event this year. Pops this one up. Foul ground, and Arturo Sanchez collides with the catcher, Adrian Soto, who hangs on.
That's a beautiful play right there. Third baseman coming through. Soto said, you know what? I'm going to run through a wall to get this ball right here. Hesitates at first. Get the glove out. Guess what? Get out the way. I got this one, big man. Good start there for Team Venezuela.
You ever collide with any catchers like that coming in from third?
No, I got out of the way for sure.
Jonathan Juarez tries to bunt. Which catcher would have run you over best?
Oh, man. Let's see. Miguel Olivo was probably the strongest catcher I've ever seen.
Really?
He knew, like, the UFC and all that stuff. He used to mess with me all the time. I wouldn't want to go near him.
Yeah, get out of the way, it sounds like. So one away for Juarez, who Sunday against Canada doubled and also got robbed later in that game by some fine Canadian defense. A couple bunt bids, and it's 0-2 on Jonathan. Jonathan, a big fan of Juan Soto, says he likes to emulate his stance by getting a little lower at the plate. Slices that one foul. He's the fastest guy on this Mexican team.
He is right on top of the plate too, as well. As you can see, both feet on the white line there. You want to come in, let's see what happens.
With Dad watching Jonathan. Vargas is 0-2. On a line, right center field, and that will drop in front of Contreras at a base hit. So it's a 1-out single for Mexico in the first. This team from Tijuana, of course, right outside of San Diego, population about 2 million. Home of the Caesar salad. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I love Caesar salad.
Who doesn't?
I don't know.
You know what? If you don't like a Caesar salad, I'm going to say it. I don't think I could trust it.
No doubt about it. Put a little Caesar on there, boys.
Yeah, what do you say? Brings up Gael Leyva, 3-hole hitter, and today's starting pitcher for Mexico. He doubled and scored Sunday against Canada at the outset of that huge 4th inning. Would love to meet Javier Baez. 2-0. This Little League is here for the 2nd time. It's Municipal de Tijuana.
Look at how he is at first base there. I find that awesome too, because usually batters or runners will be in front of the base going forward. He starts back to get momentum to go to second base. I find that pretty interesting. Something I might take for my team when I get home.
Because obviously you can't lead at this level.
You're allowed to move as long as your foot is on the base before it crosses home plate.
Got to maintain contact with the bat. And we told you he's got a ton of speed over there at first, so trying to get a little momentum going.
For everybody at home, I advise you practice that. Getting ahead of the game.
The Fighting Fraziers are going to be back with a vengeance next summer with that.
The Fighting Fraziers.
Leyva walks, 2 out for Mexico against Luis Vargas here in the first. Well, Venezuela had to use a few different arms yesterday. They had to make a pitching change with nobody out in the first inning. Arturo Sanchez, who's playing third base today and comes in for a visit here. He took over on the mound and did great across 4 innings. Osman Basabe is now at short. He can't pitch today because of 2 innings and the pitch total from yesterday. And again, an early visit from the manager.
La curva la estoy soltando aquí, mira. Adelante rápido, mira, ¿Está muy lejos, Adrián?
No.
Está bien, no pasa nada, Vamos a hacer algo aquí. Estáis pichando bien. Lo único que te falta es agresividad con el zurdo, pero no importa. Ya eso pasó. Vamos a enfocarnos aquí con un buen picheo bajito, vamos. Vamos a hacer un out. Es pesado. El que está en segunda es muy rápido. Oyeron, ten pendiente. Tira lo que estás haciendo ahí, vamos. Bajito y más nada, ¿viste? Vamos, doble play, vamos.
All right, get in front of the ball, keep the ball low, relax, nothing's wrong. And oh yeah, that kid at second is really fast.
That makes sense. And you've seen this from Venezuela. They come out, Gutierrez comes out early, tries to relax the team. The last couple games, it seems like that first inning always is giving them little problems.
Brings up Jamil Mandujano, and he pops up the first, and Aaron Villalobos almost got there with a great effort on the first one to the cleanup man.
Compared to Lamedy Stadium, this stadium, Volunteer, has plenty of room. So there's going to be a lot of plays, as we saw Soto catching a foul ball in the first. There's going to be a lot more opportunities, and overthrow might be 2 bases for some kids too as well.
Expansive territory here at Volunteer. 0-2 from Vargas. I saw a lot yesterday that when Genio Gutierrez, Venezuela's manager, made a mound visit, it felt like it had a pretty quick impact on his pitchers. And of course, we told you yesterday, he spent some time pitching in pro ball himself, got as high as AA in the Twins organization. And it works for Luis Vargas. Strikes out Mandujano. There's 2 down.
He's got that calming talk to his pitcher here. Fastball went up the ladder. Good pitch. Try and get him to chase, and he did.
2 on, 2 out, top of the first. Then here's Marco Mejia. We told you, San Marco We're talking with him on the field pregame. Yes, he really likes the nickname, of course.
And he's got that Edgar Renteria stance, that crossover. Would say Giancarlo Stanton, but I just think of Edgar. I'm going back in the day here.
That's a great call.
Ball up.
Buckling breaking ball is high, 2-0.
It's a nice curveball right there. Keep him off balance.
Center field, right at Contreras. And the mound visit pays off. Luis Vargas leaves 2, and Mexico posts a 0. We go to the bottom of the first. Venezuela bats next. Venezuela is the representative from Latin America. They're from Maracaibo, Venezuela, more than 2,100 miles away from Williamsport in northwestern Venezuela, and the second largest city in the country with a population near 3 million. We told you yesterday how many great major league connections there are to Maracaibo, starting with the likes of Luis Aparicio, the Hall of Famer, and the 13-time All-Star. Let's meet the team.
Mi nombre es Gabrielo y mi cantante favorito es Peso Pluma.
Mi nombre es Cristian Trompi y mi jugador favorito es Fernando Tatís Jr.
Mi nombre es José Núñez y mi actor favorito es Vin Diesel. Mi nombre es David Pedroso y mi comida favorita es hot dog.
Mi nombre es Gerson Pereira, mi equipo favorito es Houston Astros.
Mi nombre es Adrián Soto y mi mollo favorito es de la risa.
Mi nombre es Aaron Villalobos y mi comida favorita es hamburguesa.
Mi nombre es Omar Basabe y mi jugador favorito es Manny Machado.
Mi nombre es Leonard Contreras y mi actor favorito es William Smith.
Mi nombre es Luis Rangel y mi equipo favorito es Bravo Atlanta.
Mi nombre es Luis Vargas y mi jugador favorito es José Altuve. Mi nombre es Alexia Tendaba y mi equipo favorito los Padres San Diego.
Mi nombre es Henry Ávila y mi actor favorito es Vin Diesel.
Mi nombre es Arturo Sánchez y mi comida favorito es el pollo frito.
These guys have heard from Elias Diaz, this year's All-Star Game MVP. He sent Janillo Gutierrez a text message after the heartbreaking loss yesterday against Curacao. They will face Gael Leiva, who's on the bump for Mexico here today. Told you how good Jorge Lizárraga was for Mexico on Sunday against the Canadian team from Regina, Saskatchewan. And now Leiva's going to try to continue what Lizárraga did in a must-win game after Mexico dropped its opener on Friday against Japan 6-1.
Gael Leiva, 4-pitch pitcher. Change-up, slider, cutter, fastball. Love to see the mixtures and how and when he throws each.
That is Yu Darvish-esque.
Most definitely.
It's advanced. Here's Gerson Pereira, who unfortunately has a bum right elbow. He's not playing the field defensively because when they got here to Williamsport, he banged up his elbow before Venezuela even played a game here. So that's been a big part of the story for Venezuela, that they've been without him at full strength, to the point that he actually hit lefty at one point in the game yesterday because that was more comfortable.
Yeah, and talking to the manager, a guy now talking about him being one of their elite pitchers that they're going to definitely miss here. They're going to need, if they're going to want to get to the international final, going to have to win 3 games in a row. Losing him is not good.
Janillo Gutierrez told us we were just working with his normal throwing program in the bullpens. It's funny hearing that for a 12-year-old, the normal throwing program. And he just heard it. And yeah, he's normally their shortstop. He said we might try him out taking infield today, but he didn't think they would. 2-2.
Little friendly pitch right there. Nice curveball. Puts him in the hole, 2-2 count.
Part of that advanced and diverse arsenal for Gael Leiva. When you get into the loser's bracket, you got to go deep into your pitching ranks, and you hope you have enough depth. Full count.
This is a big sign here. This first at bat for both sides, especially almost going 1-2-3 last inning, to see where Venezuela's at, especially yesterday, what happened.
In the craziness of the ball game yesterday against Curacao. Payoff. Strike 3 called. some tailing action there. Maybe a two-seamer as well.
Two-seamer. Very nice. Leyva said, if you want to go on top of the plate, I'll come in. Two-seamer runner. Beautiful. Placement. Chacon. Nice spot. Nice firm.
You mentioned how crazy the game was yesterday for Venezuela. First 3 half innings of the ball game, everyone had the bases loaded. No run to show for it. And then Venezuela got them loaded again in the bottom of the second. Looked like they might not cash in. They did. A bases loaded walk of all things to get the game's first run and give them the lead, which they held until they were 1 pitch away from winning in the 6th.
And it seemed like that was going to be the factor. 1 walk was going to win the game. That's why we talk about playing all 6 innings here. The magic of Volunteer Stadium. Ball.
That's down. It's a ball and a strike on Leonard Contreras. Yeah, so Janillo Gutierrez was telling us, as we alluded to, that Elias Diaz sent a text message after the game and said, hey, have fun. I'm so proud of you, and that game's over. And they've been connected throughout this journey. Elias Diaz has been locked in the midst of phenomenal season he's having in the major leagues.
You don't see many two-seamers from a 12-year-old. When that ball is moving, it looks like a strike, and it ends up being a ball, or it starts outside, ends up being a strike. To see that at this young age, if they can make the adjustment, hats off to Venezuela. That's a very nice pitch by Leyva.
Toughest two-seamer sinker that you faced?
Oh, man, Roy Halladay was filthy. Corey Kluber, Max Scherzer, I mean, I can go on. Everybody.
Just a steady stream of bowling balls.
Yes. Carlos Martinez was,
And then a breaking ball snapped off for a second consecutive backwards K for Gael Leyva.
We talked about the arsenal he has, all 4 pitches. Look at that hook on the hand there. Gets out in front and kind of backed up too as well. Unhittable. He's got it going right now early.
So there's 2 outs. It brings up Osman Basabe. He's got those great baseball bloodlines himself, including his cousin Oslevis. Hold down shortstop for the Rays without Wander Franco. Basabe first pitch swinging. So many good major league connections to both these teams. Talked about the history of Maracaibo. Talked about Elias Diaz, the Basabe family, which includes his brother, got drafted by the Padres, Olivia. And then on the Mexico side, these guys from Tijuana, they heard from Adrian Gonzalez before the ball game today down in the dugout.
He was really excited to talk to the boys. They got a field named after him over there. That's where he started.
Line drive center field, base hit and a rocket from Osman Basabe.
Osman Basabe, he's got that quiet nature about him. He doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too low, stays within himself. Little slide piece, took it right back up the middle where it came from. Just such a polished hitter here for Venezuela.
And already a great response from him after he gave up that home run to Curacao in the 6th inning yesterday. And Janillo Gutierrez said afterward, I'm just going to tell him that that's baseball. Sometimes things don't go your way. Sometimes they do. But he knew his guy would bounce back today. And now Basabe moves up 60 into scoring position with Arturo Sanchez at the plate.
Outfielders are playing pretty deep. Any single definitely be a run scored here.
Arturo was 2 for 2 yesterday. Pair of singles in that one against Curacao. Comebacker, and Leyva stabs, inning over. Well, yeah, it was a special moment pregame for Team Mexico. One of their own from Tijuana, Adrian Gonzalez stopped by. We'll tell you about that conversation when we come back next.
Soy Adrián González. Estoy aquí apoyándolos. Estoy en Los Ángeles yo, pero como saben, yo juego en la Liga Municipal de Tijuana también. Y pues aquí estamos todos muy emocionados. muy contentos, están poniendo a México en alto y pues les deseo mucha suerte el partido de hoy contra Venezuela. Espero que le echen con todo, se vieron muy bien contra Canadá y sigan adelante. Ya tengo tiempo escuchando desde ustedes, del equipo de ustedes, de varios amigos que me han hablado en los últimos 2 años del equipo que llevan, el talento que traen y el esfuerzo que le han puesto, así que sigan adelante y sí se puede. Vamos.
Un saludo, Adrián, ya sabes.
Gracias, igualmente.
Five-time Major League All-Star Adrián González speaking to Team Mexico pregame, telling the guys he was rooting for them from out in Los Angeles, reminding them he grew up playing ball in Tijuana just like them. Adrián saying how happy and excited he is watching this group represent Mexico so well, especially with how good they looked against Canada. I thought this part was really cool. He said he'd been hearing about this team specifically and all their talent from his buddies back home for like 2 years now, so they must have quite a reputation. Adrián finishing off the message with a keep going and a si se puede, yes you can, a chant that'll be very familiar to fans of any Mexican sport. Really cool moment pregame here with Adrián González and the kids from Tijuana.
It's amazing, Sebi. And Todd, you said it last inning. These guys have been playing together since they were 7 years old in most cases on this team together. And so Adrián González has heard about them for multiple years, and now, yeah, they're here in Williamsport.
Yeah, this will not only kickstart these guys, but the younger generation as well, to see some of their heroes like El Titan, Adrián González talking to the kids. He was so gracious, talked to him yesterday. All he wanted to do was talk to him, let him know how much they loved him, how much he's proud of them, and they're making their country proud as well. So for you younger generation out there, sky's the limit. Keep playing this wonderful game. You get to be like Adrián one day and give back for sure.
Yeah, someone as good as it gets with the bat and with the glove in his time. Jorge Villa skies this one to center. At Contreras for the first down, the second. What sort of responsibility do you feel now that you're a little more removed from the game to help out the next generation?
Yeah, not only to help out, just give back in the community, your state, where you're from. You talk about the MLB Classic. This is the coolest thing in the world. You get your favorite players coming here. You got kids that are like wide-eyed. Oh, my God, I get to meet this guy. I walk around, and they still like, oh, you're Todd Frazier. I'm like, yeah, I'm nobody, man. You got to go talk to these guys. So it is. It's a responsibility to give back to where you're from and to help out as many youngsters as possible.
I think one of the coolest things about this entire event is that it is a two-way street here. Like Sebastian told us the report yesterday of Jordan Weems, a pitcher who is here pitching in the Little League Classic, seeking out a Chinese Taipei pitcher, Fan Chun Jun. And so that, yeah, obviously these youngsters at 12 years old, they look up to the major leaguers, present and past. But then also it goes the other way too.
Yeah, without a doubt. And as you see, as it changes, you have 13 or 14 guys on a team. Everybody's getting an opportunity to play. And playing at this Williamsport, I'm telling you, it's going to bode well for these kids, not only on the field, but off the field for pressures and situations, trying to get jobs, knowing that, listen, I played in some of the craziest atmospheres and the fun atmospheres. I can relax and just be myself.
Alfredo Chacon, the catcher for Mexico, bats here. And he smokes this one into the gap in left center, and that'll drop down in front of Gabriel Villalobos. Chacon's got a one-out single for Mexico and a scoreless second.
Yeah, back to the game here. What a nice swing by the young man. Chacon gets a fastball. Oh, let her high. When your timing is right and your hands come through the zone like that, lucky that ball didn't get to the wall.
Yeah, credit Villalobos for cutting that off and holding Chacon to a single. And now the shortstop for Mexico, Bernardo Partida. Even just now we had Didi Gregorius responding to one of your many great social media posts.
Thank you.
Saying that he's got to get you speaking Papiamentu after watching the highlights of what Curaçao did yesterday against Venezuela.
I told him, I said, Didi, you get your butt up here. I will do a broadcast, an inning or two with you if you get here. And I'll try and learn it. We'll have a good time. Didi, man of all trades.
That ball goes foul and stays foul up the line for Partida.
I came up with Didi, man. First time ever met him. I thought he looked like, you know, remember seeing that Serena and Venus Williams when they were like 14, 15 with dreadlocks and everything?
Yeah.
The rose. That's what Didi looked like. And then all of a sudden, he was only 16. All of a sudden he turns 20, 21. He's a monster. I said, man, what are you eating? Because I need some of that.
We got to get on that program. That's away from Luis Vargas. 2-2 on Partida. Partida had a couple of walks Sunday against Canada. Says he likes to run when he's not playing sports.
That is like the exact opposite of what I would be doing.
What's the most miles you've run in the last, 2 years?
Stop. Why you got to put me on the spot like that? I'm probably a mile. Got on the treadmill just to feel better about myself.
Nothing wrong with a mile.
Come on. That's terrible.
Second K for Vargas. 2 out here in the second.
Here it is. Simple. Fastball. What are you going to do? Got away with one there right down the plate. Little deception.
Brings up Arath Labarine, who was going to bat in the next spot in the lineup, but unfortunately Maolo Pena is unavailable for Mexico today and won't play. He's got a sore throat and a fever, we were told down on the field right before this started. So if he's watching, Maolo, we hope you feel better. It's 0-2 on Labarine.
Here you go. Here you go. Unfortunate stuff happens like that. You get sick. Hopefully get some fluids. Come back tomorrow.
0-2. Hung on to by the catcher Adrian Soto. And how about Luis Vargas strutting off the mound? Couple of Ks and a scoreless second on a gorgeous day at Williamsport. Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series presented by T-Mobile. Hey, want your child to experience the teamwork and fun of Little League baseball or softball? Visit playlittleLeague.org and enter your address to find a Little League community program near you. Oh, we got some cards. We're dishing out as we go into the bottom of the second. And Venezuela coming up in a scoreless elimination game against Mexico as Venezuela sends up Adrian Soto, Aaron Villalobos, and the pitcher Luis Vargas, who just had a couple of strikeouts.
Seems a little quiet right now since we've been up here. The Frazier effect has not come into fruition yet. We were in the bottom of the first last game and this time, so let's see if we get a little action here.
Yeah, Luis Vargas, you just saw in the Venezuela dugout, doing his part to keep this thing scoreless. Well, the Frazier factor, effect, whatever you want to call it, waits to arrive on the scene. This team from Maracaibo, Venezuela. Mentioned Luis Vargas, by the way. He's the only player on this team who has at least one parent here. Both of his parents are here, and those are the only two Venezuela parents able to make the journey to come here to Williamsport, Pennsylvania in the Little League World Series. And these kids have been gone from home for quite some time on a lengthy journey to this point that they hope continues. It's 0-2 on Adrian Soto, the catcher. Did a nice job behind the plate yesterday after initially beginning as the starting pitcher. And he's facing Gael Leyva. Time call. Leyva with a long look in, and Adrian Soto's getting bored.
Good timeout right there. Take your time. Let's go. If you're a batter, hey, it's on me. If you're a pitcher, hey, it's on my time.
This is sliced foul. If you're wondering, there is no pitch clock here in Little League.
No.
Mike, you're talking about the wild trip for the Venezuelan team to get here. They left Venezuela on July 31st, haven't been home since. And the trip started rough, right? A 20-plus hour bus ride from Venezuela into Colombia. They got to go to Colombia because there's no U.S. consulates in Venezuela. So from there, the visa process kind of begins. That took a while. The team was in Colombia for 10 days waiting for everything to get done. And it was tough. They told me all they had to practice with during that time was their gloves and 7 baseballs. That's all they brought with them. They were running sprints on basketball courts, playing catch on a patchy soccer field, basically working out anywhere they could find space in the streets of Bogota, the capital of Colombia. It wasn't easy, but the boys finally made their way to Williamsport on August 10th, a well-earned prize at the end of a really long trip.
Wow.
That's amazing.
They find ways to practice 7 baseballs, couple gloves, he said. That goes to show you this sport, if you find a place to play at, you will find a place to play. Because baseball you can do anywhere. And if you're from Venezuela, you're going to fight to play those games anywhere you can.
Adrian Soto grounded out to Bernardo Partida. I mean, to put that in context, let's say with your 9U team, like how many baseballs would you go to a full-fledged practice with as a coach?
Yeah, you probably have a whole bucket of balls, probably 20 or 30 baseballs. Yeah. And all of a sudden you lose one. Somebody hits one in the woods or in a pond, there goes another one. So it's just the trek they had to make, the journey. But I know for sure it's all worth it once they got here.
Yeah. Aaron Villalobos bats. We were talking with their manager, Janio Gutierrez, down on the field pregame, and he said it's really hard for Venezuelan Little League teams to come here as Villalobos flies out to Juarez for out number 2. And he said that's because it's expensive. He said it's really hard. But boy, do we have a lot of fun, he made sure to say.
Memory of a lifetime.
We'll tell you about a really cool connection as well that Janio's got with one of his former teammates in the Twins organization, who was here watching him this week and who has helped out to that end with some of the equipment later on. Meantime, 2 outs, nobody aboard. This is Luis Vargas, Venezuela's pitcher. You saw his parents and you've heard from them over the course of this journey for the team from Maracaibo.
Got a little nerves right there. She was speaking very well yesterday, man.
Yes.
I don't know if she wants to talk today. This is
bouncer to short, and Partida, he zips it over, and it's 1-2-3 in the second for Gael Leyva to the third, and scoreless next.
Here comes fastball. Strike or ball, we don't know.
3-2 in the air, center field. Contreras to the wall. Gone! Curacao leads!
I do not believe it. Actually, I do. Holy cow! This game, every game we've done, there's been crazier things. Dead center. Way back. Michael, this is unbelievable, dude. Absolutely unbelievable.
You called it the home run heard around South Williamsport yesterday. I mean, the crowd, the Curacao fans, the players going nuts, and that includes us.
I think we were waiting for that, especially in the first 2 innings. 12 base runners on, nobody scored, 3 different catchers' glove used, mound visits after mound visits, foul balls after, I mean, everything led up to it.
Let's not forget the hidden ball trick attempt, either for Venezuela.
And guess what? We were waiting to explode. Fortunate for Curacao, that ball went out. I dropped the Michael on you like we were back home at school, man. I was so excited. What an unbelievable event yesterday it was.
I've never been prouder to be called Michael, by the way. That was a heck of a ball game. Unfortunate that one team had to lose, and Venezuela in heartbreaking fashion fell to Curacao. The international champions from last year, runners-up of the entire event, lost to Hawaii with 5 players back from last year's team, and that's kind of the way this year's event has gone here in Williamsport. A lot of mayhem, a lot of big moments, some fantastic pitching, and a ton of headlines.
I'd like to point out here, Pancho, the manager of Mexico, is now coaching first base. This is the second team I've seen that. They go back and forth.
And right in his direction, Jorge Cota flips one into right field, and he's got a leadoff single for Mexico here in the third. Reminder on where we're at here on the international side. Curacao and Chinese Taipei in the winner's bracket with a win Wednesday. That winner moves on straight to Saturday. If you lose, you drop down and got to work your way back on Thursday to try to get to that international title game Saturday on ABC.
And to my point before, they switch until somebody scores, and then they keep them over there at third base. Chad Hansen in Fargo, North Dakota did the same thing, and all of a sudden one run was scored. Coaches do not move.
That is our guy, Francisco Fimbres, who also coached the same Little League here 10 years ago. Reached the international championship. You can just call him Pancho. He told us pregame.
Pancho told me he was looking for some different food for the boys. There's a family here in Williamsport.
One popped up to first right at Aaron Villalobos, and Cota springs back to the bag.
Yeah, the family in Williamsport brought the boys carnitas and chile, and guess what? They were very, very excited for that.
Did you get any word about potential leftovers?
No, and I wish there was. But you want those hot. The next day might not be the same.
Fair.
Now you want that type of food hot, ready to go. Makes me hungry right now. Hopefully Sebi up down there can find some food for us today, maybe.
Yeah, maybe scrounging a little bit down there. So the bunt went awry, 1 out, 1 on, and now Andy Rubio bunts one foul in the 12 spot in the 12-person Mexico batting lineup.
Todd, I hate to disappoint you, but I think you're right. I think unless it's fresh, unless it's hot, day of, you don't necessarily want that. But I am going to bring some food for the second game. I've been talking to some of the Japanese moms. They've been making rice balls for the kids every day. So we're going to have rice balls in the booth for the 5 p.m.er today. All right? How about that? That okay for you, Todd? That fits your diet?
That makes plenty of sense. I won't be doing the game. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So Sebi's going to have to get extra steps in. Here's what's going to happen. He'll walk up to Lamedy.
Yes.
No big deal. Crisis averted.
Sebi, always thinking of us, man. We appreciate you down there.
Have you been getting any food up there at Lamedy in game?
We got Italian ice the other day.
Oh, nice.
That was good.
Who deserves credit for that?
That's Rowdy Fowdy. That's Julie, for sure.
When in doubt, it's Jules.
It's always Jules. She seems to have a good time wherever she goes.
She's the best. 2-2 the count on Andy Rubio against Luis Vargas in the scoreless third. Full count.
Oh, man, here we go. Had one of those the other day. Man. In between innings, I might have to go somewhere.
Yeah, it'll be a solo broadcast venture. Cut and a miss. Soto hangs on. 4th strikeout for Luis Vargas. 2 down here in the third. Luis Vargas has done well his first time through the Mexico lineup. Turns back to the top, and Jorge Lizárraga flies one into left at Gabriel Villalobos. And the inning is over. Got a good one going so far. We're hungry in Williamsport. To the bottom of the third next. The college football season kicks off Saturday in the 18th annual MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff game as South Carolina State squaring off against Jackson State at what used to be Turner Field. And our celebration of HBCUs begins at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC for the first time and also on the ESPN app. You're a big college football guy. It's not far away.
I cannot wait. Football around this time. Oh. My weekends are booked.
What we got on the Scarlet Knights this year?
Watch out, baby. Greg Schiano. We got some good recruits coming in. I'm hoping to get into a bowl this year. 7-5 would be nice.
Hope springs eternal, baby. Let's go. August 22nd, just about set to go. Back at the Little League Baseball World Series presented by T-Mobile to the bottom of the third with no score. He's Todd Frazier, Sebastian Salazar is field level. I'm Mike Monaco, our entire crew behind the scenes, led by Jacob Garza and Danny McVan. Endrick Avila takes a breaking ball on the inside edge for strike 2 from Gael Leyva.
Backup breaking ball, caught the inner half of that pitch there. Nothing you can do about that pitch.
Avila's got a couple of hits here in Williamsport, and he bounces this one to first and foul. I know you love watching coach reactions.
I do.
Here.
Listen, you watch the game. For the common fan, they're watching the batter, the pitcher the whole time. I want to see the outfield. I want to see what the coaches are doing. Gino over there, not very happy right now.
0-2. That's down. A ball and 2 strikes from Gael Leyva.
1-2.
Coaches say Gael is aggressive. Great pitcher, great hitter. One of the more recent guys to join this team that's been together for a while, but he has fit in nicely. That sinker ran away from him and stings Endrick Avila.
You just hope that didn't hit right on the bone of that elbow. That's gonna got that funny bone area. I remember those ones.
The Venezuela team, we remind you that if you weren't with us earlier, has already been dealing with an injury to their would-be shortstop, Gerson Pereira, the leadoff man, who's been relegated to just hitting and not playing the field. And even went so far yesterday, instead of batting like he normally would from the right side, hit left-handed at one point. So they certainly don't want anything else to an arm. Coach told him that's why we got the elbow pad we just heard.
He'll be just fine there. What we said back in the day, I love put a little dirt on that elbow. Let's see. All right. I would say it got more side than arm, which is good.
A little fluffier.
Have a little mark there later.
Jose Nunez drops down a good ball. Leyva bare hands and slings in time to get him. Do or die, and Leyva up to the task. Avila does move up to second on a sack.
Very good execution. Bunt, look, then run. He had some speed. Nice play by Leyva. Just got him in time.
Credit Marco Mejia at first base there as well. Nabbing that ball and then getting out of the way of Jose Nunez. So a man in scoring position for Venezuela, and it brings up David Pedroso. Got hit by a pitch early on in the game yesterday against Curacao. He's also worked a walk here. So he's been getting aboard down in this 10 spot in the lineup.
We talk about the bottom hitters from Mexico doing well. These guys have been stepping up too, so we'll see. Big hole up the middle, second baseman. Hernandez playing way over by first base. A little dribble up the middle might mean a score.
This is served into right toward the line, and Lizarraga dives and it goes foul.
Lizarraga, their best player, laying out for his squad. Oh, just missed it there.
You had mentioned the positioning of Santiago Hernandez at second. I mean, Lizarraga was close to the line too, and it almost paid off.
Definitely. And also that first baseman, Mejia, needs to go over a little bit more too as well. If your second baseman's there, communication is key.
0-2 to Pedroso. He lashes another one foul.
Wouldn't it be funny to see Partida go over there too, a little shift beater from a right-hander, moving guys over the opposite side? That would have been a first.
No rules against it here.
No.
A couple of our early games here, we had shortstops playing like 5 steps on the outfield grass. It was amazing.
Yeah. Got to know your range.
Partita's got a cannon, by the way. All right, so 1-2 on Pedroso. He's had one of the good lines here when we ask everyone to tell us something else about yourself. David said, I saw a guy spill all his Scrabble letters on the road, and I asked him, what's the word on the street?
Wow. That is beautiful. I might use that one too.
Yeah, good dad joke for you. Fouled away as Pedroso battles. Keeps on nodding and trying to fight off pitches from Gael Leva. He's already fouled off 4 from him in this AB. In a scoreless elimination game about halfway through. 1-2. On the ground, up the middle. Partita's got it, and he's got that rocket. So Pedroso did go up the middle, but Partita with that range and arm denies him.
What a beautiful play. Execution was there. Hard hit ball. Good battle. Ranges to his left. One-handed. You see a lot of guys go to there. Flip it up. Nice sidearm angle. Avila should have been on third base too as well there. Once the ball is hit to the left of a shortstop, if you're the runner on second, you have to get to third base. That ball got through and he didn't score. Gaino would have been pretty upset.
So it's not about seeing it get past you in any way. You just know that, hey, he's got a long way to go. I can get there. He won't be able to throw me out at third.
Without a doubt. He's not going to third anyway. You're trying to get the out. Now it takes away a pass ball. An easy run could have scored. Sometimes the moment of the game gets to you. You got to remind yourself before every pitch what to do on defense and on offense.
Batter is Alexander Navin. He pops one up on the infield, and it drops down out of the glove of Jorge Cota. So now Avila's at third, but because he was at second, a run still off the board as Venezuela continues to threaten.
And that's just what we talk about. As situations occur, little things like that changes a game from a win to a loss. Kind of in no man's land here. Just took his eye off. Sun might have gotten away as well.
Estos son de ellos. Hey, voltea a verme. Va a salir de esto. Va a salir, no aflojes nada más. Seguros, seguros. Necesito que cubras todo ahí. Si se va el robo, haz la finta y no tiras. Haz la finta como que tiraste. Entra aquí, pide la bola. Tú entras a segunda y pide la bola. No vas a tirar, haz la finta nada más. ¿Oíste? Hey, aprieta. Que no, nomás haz la finta. Si corre, lo agarras.
The words from Pancho Fimbres, the manager, saying you're going to get out of this. Everybody relax. And if the runner at first goes, they want a fake throw. Doesn't sound like they want to throw all the way through. Would that be your strategy here? I mean, you got the 2 outs here in the inning.
Yeah, I don't think you want to take a chance here. Give a good pump fake. Do that, get it back to the pitcher quick, then decide what you want to do. You want to get the ball to your best player. Right now, that's the pitcher right now.
The batter is Luis Rangel. Bounces it to third and through the legs and into left field. Avila scores and Venezuela's got the lead.
Luis with a hard hit ball to third. As a third baseman, Cota thinking that ball's going to hop up, stays down. I've been there too many times. Just got to take it and move on.
And now Gabriel Villalobos floats one in the left toward the line, and Jamil Mandujano runs it down to limit the damage. First blood goes to Venezuela. They lead to the 4th. Let's meet Luis Vargas, brought to you by Dollar Car Rental, who's now pitching with Elite Special Talent, cooking pasta. Dream vacation is Spain. Let's go down to Sebastian Salazar.
Here's sandwiched between Luis's parents, his father, Luis, his mom, Jocelyn. Now, of course, you can imagine how dramatic that game was yesterday. Of course, the players were going through it. The parents were suffering as well. ¿Cómo viviste lo de ayer y ese partidazo que vimos?
Ayer fue un día de muerte, de verdad. Fue un día en el que no hubo venezolano que no sintiera millones de emociones a la vez. Fue un juego muy bueno, de verdad. De verdad pensamos que íbamos a ganar. Ese partido estaba de muerte. Pero bueno, ya pasamos nuestro despecho, ya hoy es nuevo día, los niños están súper más emocionados, más fuertes, más eléctricos y los veo demasiado activos.
She tells me that yesterday's game was a game to the death, a game that every Venezuelan, no matter where they were, felt thousands of emotions. She says the boys were down, but that they have recovered quickly and bounced back for the game today. Obviously, we see them leading right now 1-0. Now, Jocelyn has told us that her son continues to surprise her here at the Little League World Series. I want to know in what way. Nos acabas de decir varias veces que tu niño te sigue sorprendiendo aquí en Williamsport. ¿Por qué?
Bueno, lo que pasa es que es mi único hijo y realmente siempre ha estado con mamá y lo he visto muy suelto, de verdad lo he visto muy suelto, ha hecho cosas diferentes, lo veo de verdad bastante maduro, aparte que la experiencia que está viviendo ahora yo sé que es increíble. Realmente estoy muy orgulloso de él porque con esta experiencia tan buena él le va a sacar mucho provecho, de verdad su actitud me gusta.
So she said that he's always been a little bit of a mama's boy, like kind of shy. She didn't know how he would really handle this experience. She said he's really enjoying it. It's something that in the long haul is going to really serve him. Let's get Dad's perspective here. ¿Cómo ha sido esto como papá viendo a tu hijo aquí representando a Venezuela?
Hoy muy nervioso, de verdad, de verlo pichar un juego tan importante, tanto para Venezuela, Latinoamérica y como para nosotros. Pero de verdad, súper orgulloso del desempeño. De verdad que muy bien.
Dad is nervous. It's such a big game. To have his son on the mound representing Venezuela is tough, but he's also very proud. ¿Cómo ha vivido esto tu hijo fuera de la cancha?
Excelente, excelente, muy buena atención. Han compartido muy bien con los niños, con los otros equipos y les ha ido muy bien, de verdad.
He says it's been a really wonderful experience for his son off the field, especially the chance to meet other kids from around the world. Guys, thanks so much to the Vargas family. They've been great to hang out with all week. We send it back to you.
Yeah, amazing, Sebi, and our thanks to them again as the only parents here of any of the players on Team Venezuela. Meanwhile, Luis on the mound, and as you heard, the emotions for the parents watching and coming off the game yesterday that Mom describes as a game to the death yesterday, and she said 1,000 emotions, and now because of that, you got to win today.
Yeah, for the people at home in Venezuela watching, it's got to be even more nerve-wracking for them to focus on these young men and how proud they are of them and as far as they've come.
Gael Leyva bats after Jonathan Juarez walked, and Jonathan Juarez, while that interview was going on, got about as low to the ground as humanly possible.
3-0 pitch right there. Young man, that's not going to change your strike zone, but it makes for good TV.
Letter of the law is that it's when the batter assumes a natural stance. Quote, according to their usual stance when the batter swings at a pitch.
Exactly. That's funny stuff.
2-0. And Leyva pushes a bunt foul, 2-1.
It's funny to see your 3-hole hitter going to lay down a bunt. You don't see that in the big leagues. You don't see that pretty much anywhere. Your power hitter. Try to get a guy over. The fascinating wonders of Little League Baseball. When you know your team, you know your team.
Venezuela still expecting that from the 3-hitter. Squared, pulled back, and took a fringe pitch to make it 3-1. One starting pitcher against the other here in the 4th inning. That's just outside ball 4, and it's back-to-back walks issued to Team Mexico in the heart of its lineup to begin this 4th.
Might be a timeout here. Talk to him. Go over it a little bit. 2 walks. Haven't hurt you yet, but not the start you want for Venezuela.
Here comes Janio Gutierrez, the manager. Pitch counts at 60.
Entraba, papi. Vamos, entró, anda para tercera. Mira, juega adelante. Juega adelante, espera al toque. Están tocando a todo momento, oye. Oye, no pasa nada, vamos. Está bien, buen trabajo, papi, buen trabajo. Ya trae allá. Hey, saca el brazo rápido, oíste. Oíste, defiende el toque bola ahí. Oíste, ¿sí va? Sí. Hey, tienen fuerza, pero tu curva es buena. Hombre en línea y tira atrás, más nada.
Hey guys, there's no problem. Relax. That's the message. 2 arms available today for Venezuela. The second, Adrian Soto, enters now. Little League stats are provided by Game Changer, the official scorekeeping and stats technology partner of Little League and the Little League World Series. Game Changer now offers free live streaming for regular season local youth games, plus automatic video highlight clips when you stream and score your games. Beautiful afternoon in Williamsport at the Little League World Series. You find these stats on Game Changer. There's Luis Vargas, who exits 4 strikeouts, pitches into the 4th, and gives way to the other arm available for Venezuela, Adrian Soto, who started yesterday, left early. Fewer than 20 pitches, so able to go today. Faces the cleanup man, Jamil Mandujano. And it's ball 1 with 2 on for Mexico. And here comes the hidden ball trick again. And Mexico's not falling for it.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Wow. You don't think you see that again, but do it. Hey, you're trying to win. There's anything. We'll go right to the vault and try it again.
And the crowd even cheered quite a bit because they appreciated the design and the effort of it. And you said it yesterday. That's something that has to have been practiced a ton all summer.
Without a doubt. You think about some of the best hidden ball tricks. That would go down in history if that did work.
1-0 pitch. Bunted foul by the cleanup man, Mandujano. This was yesterday, attempting it against Curacao, who also didn't fall for it.
I'm just staring at it. I find it fascinating. I find it amazing. Great fakes by Basabe at short. Man, to think your 4-hole hitter is bunting again. I'd want my man here to hit, put it in play, make some action happen. Put the ball on the ground, make them work. But they do know their team better than us.
Jamil here like his brother was 10 years earlier. A strikeout for Adrian Soto, and there's 1 away.
Talking with Gutierrez today, he said he has 2 pitchers in mind. Vargas was one, and he said Soto was the guy that was going to come in and try and clean it up for him if he was in trouble. High cheddar, right into your kitchen there. Nothing you can do with that.
And it brings up San Marco, who takes ball 1, Sebi.
Guys, we love a good nickname story here at the Little League World Series. Now, it's quite common in Mexico, right, after a heroic sporting performance, that an athlete will, in effect, get sainted. Not really. Marco had the game-winning grand slam in a regional championship game down in Mexico, so the nickname definitely fits, but there's much more to it. The first person to call him San Marco, and the one who actually did the original Photoshop that was then turned into the cards, what you're seeing now that all the parents have brought with them to Williamsport, was his best friend back in Mexico, Sebastián Retamosa. Now, sadly, Sebastián's father, Hugo, who was like an uncle to Marco, passed away recently. It was actually Hugo who gave Marco his first nickname, Russo. And today, Marco has Russo written on his camp. So this young man from Tijuana honoring both his best friend and his best friend's late father here at the Little League World Series.
I mean, how special is that?
Wow.
Your friend and your friend's late father, you keep that close to you. And you saw on the note about Marco that his superstition is writing something inside the cap. And he showed it to us down on the field pregame. He's keeping that right with him on this journey.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing to try and remember somebody you loved. Doesn't matter who it is. Love goes on forever. Right in your cap, something to think about. Kind of relax you a little bit too as well.
We got to figure out, by the way, who the Photoshop artist is, who is the architect of that, because Jorge Cota, one of Marco's teammates, showed us his phone And the background on his phone is that Photoshop of St. Marco. After the mound visit, fouled back, and it's 2-1 on Mejia from Adrian Soto. I talked to Marco about this entire experience before the ball game, and he said, aside from playing the ball games, it's the pins, the pin trading that has been the very best.
My man right there. We'll talk later for sure about some pin trading.
2-2 on him.
Back in the day, there used to be pin trading going around all the stadium here. Kids wouldn't even go down the hill. They'd come back after games. Where's the new pin? Let me get this one. Let me get that one, like these guys are doing right there. Brings everybody together.
What a haul those bags are. 2-2. Popped up behind home plate, and Arturo Sanchez watches that go off the netting. Elimination game, 4th inning. Again, 6-inning games here in Williamsport. Venezuela got a run in the 3rd. Mexico threatens in the 4th. And Mejia is granted time. We got managers swapping which base they are coaching. We got hidden ball tricks. We got it all. Full count on Mejia from Soto.
Talk about game-changing at bats here. Yeah, be ready. He said be ready for that fastball. And I think he's right.
Marco's father can hardly watch. White knuckling on a 3-2. It's popped up behind home plate, high into the sun for Sanchez to hang on to it after he just moved from 3rd base to catcher.
The manager Gutierrez, as you guys have not seen, before every game in infield, he does about 10 to 15 pop-ups in the infield to the catcher, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, short, and that was one of them. I tell you what, that bodes well for Venezuela. That's a huge, huge out in the 4th inning. As you see, turns his body. You'd like for his his back to be towards the pitcher just a little bit more. Nonetheless, you catch the ball, move on to the next out.
Brings up Jorge Villa. Yeah, to the point that Tim Kirchin, our buddy's been so impressed that he stopped Janio Gutierrez and said how impressed he was by the ability to hit a pop-up with a fungo.
You can imagine, Tim. Hey there, let's talk about the pop-ups that we just did here. Find it so amusing.
Nothing in 2. Oh, there's going to be a retort for you, Frazier, later on. It's coming.
I've been dying to do his impersonation. It's not the best. But Tim and I, man, we become close, so I think he'll agree.
Of course. 0-2. That's way outside where Arturo Sanchez set up.
Hopefully he's smiling and getting ready for game 2 over there at Alameda.
He was ragging on you about J.R. Smith and your battles in high school. 2-2. Jorge Villa flew out his first time today. Had 2 singles Sunday against Canada. With 2 on. Nearly hit him in a full count. Venezuela struck first. Does Mexico have an answer? 3-2. That's outside, and they're loaded. 3 walks in the inning.
Give credit to Donnie Caudell, the home plate umpire. That ball was off. Nice frame job by Soto, but the right call right there.
And nervous looks from Janio Gutierrez, Venezuela's manager, ahead of this bases loaded bind for Adrian Soto. He's going to face the catcher for Mexico, Alfredo Chacon. Singled his first time in this game. has a couple of hits plus a walk here in Williamsport. Squaring and just inviting a strike to be thrown.
And you can see the frustration right now by Soto. Body language is key. Slow down, relax, take a deep breath.
Can he rein it in? There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Again, Adrian was the starting pitcher yesterday. Only faced 3 batters, walked 2 of them, and a single, and he left with nobody out. In the air, left center. Contreras can fly, and he runs it down.
You're talking about flying. I thought that was in the gap for a 3 RBI double. Nice swing. Even a better catch by the Gazelle.
That's why they call him that.
Give me nothing but good vibes. Give me that sunshine. Bring on the summertime. Bring on the summertime. Bring on the summertime. Bring on the summertime.
Still 3 more games to come here on day 7 at the Little League World Series. Who jumps out to you as maybe your favorites so far at this point of weekend?
Well, I'd have to go with DJ Jablonski. He has been nasty on the mound, throwing both games 2-0, 10-plus strikeouts, and a monster home run yesterday. DJ Jablonski from Texas is really good.
I mean, it's easy juice. Like that swing last night, he sent that a very long way at Labadee.
Yes, he did.
Cristian Trompi's bats to lead off for Venezuela, up 1-0 on Mexico in the first ball game today. Trompi's had a nice catch in the outfield yesterday. He's also been good in the box. Facing Gael Leva. Spins one to the outside corner. It's been a good one at the Little League Baseball World Series presented by T-Mobile. Venezuela's got 1 hit in this game, and it was back in the first inning.
Leva has been efficient. Couple errors hurt him. 43 pitches in the 4th. That's one of the better outings so far we've seen when it comes to pitch count.
And a strikeout here. And good efficiency still from Gael Leva.
Coming at you here, starting him off with some outside fastballs. Painted. 2-seamer. Coming back into you as a right-hander. He's got a good slot. Leva's had that elbow slot down a little bit. Going to get a nice push through, kind of Max Scherzer-like, to get that extra life on your fastball.
And full arsenal on display. Now Gerson Pereira cues one to the mound, and Leva stabs it for a very quick out number 2. It's hard to overstate the importance of getting a good outing on the mound when you're in the elimination bracket. But then also, if you can get deep into a game, or gosh, long way to go, but maybe finish a game just using one arm, that's massive.
Yeah, and it looks like that's most likely what will happen today with the way he's going. Mexico's been efficient on the mound. They just haven't come through at the end with runners in scoring position.
So 2 outs, base is empty for the Gazelle. And a nice catch in left center to end the last half inning. Fastest kid on the team, and if you bring that up around his teammates, they just all start nodding. They know it.
Like to see him hit one in the gap here and let him run.
Big fan of Ronald Acuna Jr. approaching 60 stolen bases. And a big fan as well of Ellie De La Cruz. Says for all he's done at such a young age.
Very mature answer for him.
Sebastian reported earlier and had a conversation with Leonard about how he would most like to meet Jackie Robinson for, as he says, for breaking barriers. Spoke so eloquently about it. On the ground, left side, and in the hole, Partita throws. Almost got him. That was nearly fabulous.
Speed kills, as we know. Put the ball in play. Man, what a nice play by Partita with the backhand. Villa almost came up with it. If he did, he probably still would have had a tough time getting him out at first. To a knee, rocket arm. Beautiful job on both ends.
My word. The actions, as you might say, pretty impressive there at short. So now the Gazelle is on in front of Osman Basabe, who's got the other Venezuelan hitting this game, so he gets a slider to start out.
Very nice pitch there to their best hitter. Had a nice line drive last time up. Start him off with a slider here. He's got 3 more other pitches. Might as well use them all.
Hot shot. Partita's got it to the bag, and the inning is over. To the 5th inning in a 1-run game. Mexico bats down by 1 to Venezuela.
Give me that sunshine, sunshine. Give me them good times, good times. Nothing but good vibes. Give me that sunshine, sunshine. Bring on the summertime.
Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series presented by T-Mobile. First game of the day here on this Tuesday in week 2. With a dozen teams left, we'll have 8 by the end of the day. Our game track is brought to you by Geico. Gael Leiva's been excellent for Mexico. Luis Vargas was as well for Venezuela, pitching into the 4th inning. And it's been another good ball game, Todd Frazier.
Yes, it has. Are we going to have that late night magic here? That late game magic, I should say. It's been done before, over and over.
Feels like you're due for it. As Adrian Soto works on the bump, faces Bernardo Partita, shortstop who has dazzled defensively. Pancho Fimbres, the manager, says he has soft hands. He's fast. He's focused. He also pitches, but Bernardo will tell you he prefers to play shortstop, and we can see why.
Silky smooth out there.
Takes a strike, 2-1. Popped up toward the netting, and it's 2-2. Winner of this plays Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern time, right here on ESPN against whoever wins the game later today between Japan and Panama. That as well, of course, is an elimination game. Winner of this game needs to win on Wednesday and then again on Thursday if they want to get to Saturday and the international championship. Partita trying to get on for Mexico. And he's out. Leadoff walk in the 5th. Hey, this week, Sunday Night Baseball heads to Oracle Park for the series finale between the Braves and Giants at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific here on ESPN. Also on ESPN Deportes and ESPN Radio. Coverage starts 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with Baseball Tonight Sunday Night Countdown and Michael K. and A-Rod with their K-Rod presentation on ESPN2. Arath Labarine drops down a dandy of a bunt, and there's 2 on with nobody out.
Tell you what, it was a nice bunt, but at the same time, Nunez did not get the first base in time as a second baseman. That's what caused all the commotion. Nobody covering second. And guess what? You're not going to throw that ball and make that mistake. Action here for Mexico.
And now Jorge Cota pushes one foul. Boy, Mexico is unafraid to bunt with anyone in its entire lineup.
I think the first thing they did was tell everybody, if you can't bunt on this team, you're not making this all-star team. Everybody's ready to go.
Pancho Fimbres is the manager. He's been here before. So where Janio Gutierrez is doing pop-ups with his fungo, Pancho is telling the boys to work on their bunting. Here comes Janio Gutierrez for a second visit to Soto.
Cae, tira strike, eso es el problema cuando tira strike. Tira strike, papá, olvídate de eso, tira strike, cae al toque. Cae, juega adelante, cae al toque. ¿Verdad? Si no toca por ahí, devolverte, si está ahí, te quitáis. Hey, vos, igual, juega adelante, si te devolvés, si no te vas para tercera, decirle acabo que haga la asistencia. Hey, vas a ver, hey, vamos a hacer este lado, si este es el tercero, lo hacemos sin miedo, tira bien. Hey, hombre en línea, vamos.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing you take from that, he wants the corners to crash. Come on down, make sure you get that bunt. Try to get one out. You need to get that one out first before anything.
And he's saying make sure you cover. Middle infield is tight up the middle. That's a long way to go, is it not, for a second baseman?
Without a doubt. He needs to be playing a lot further over towards first base. Basabe should be closer to second base. Make it that much easier. Yeah, he's really far over.
1-1. And Cota takes a strike. He thought it was away, so it's 1-2 now. And will the bunt still be on?
I don't think it will be. We've seen some crazier things.
We've seen some two-strike bunt bids.
He is right on top of the plate. Here we go.
Squares and bunts a good one to third. Bare hand, not in time, and they're loaded. The gamble of a two-strike bunt pays off for Mexico.
Small ball coming into factor here. Vargas at third base was not up far enough. Perfect bunt with two strikes. You foul this off, you're automatically out. The barehanded throw just beats them in time to be safe. I wouldn't. You might see another one here.
Will we get a challenge from Venezuela? Looks like we will. You can challenge twice a game in regulation length 6 innings. You get another if we go to extras. And if you're successful and it gets overturned, you retain your challenge anyway. So why wouldn't you at this stage with at least one remaining?
Yeah, I think you have to. It looked at first glance he was safe. You got two, you got to use it.
Yep.
Yeah, he's in there. It's amazing to think how small ball. Why do we get away from small ball as we get older? Keep using it. This is how Mexico got here. They play the game. They want you to make the mistake. If you're not in the right spot, they're going to hurt you. 3 in a row. Oh. The magic of the bunt. The toque, as they call it.
Call is confirmed, as we saw and suspected at first. So another bunt. And they're loaded with nobody out. And it's part of the beauty of Little League Baseball, how small the diamond is and how every ball in play on the infield is pressure-packed.
And now, if you're Venezuela, you're going to try and cut this run off at home. These guys are right on top of the plate here.
Santiago Hernandez does not square. Takes ball 1 from Adrian Soto. Santi, as they call him, trying to butt his first time. He popped it to the first baseman, and now he is sitting down, and that's a strike regardless of your stance.
I tell you what, they must have practiced this too, because I hope they tell him it's not going to change the strike zone. I love every second of it.
And look at, he's basically standing with his front foot on home plate as well.
All you have to do is keep your foot on the white line. That's it.
The boys from Tijuana are scratching and clawing and bunting and squatting their way, trying to manufacture a run.
Tooth and nail here.
He's good. He's good.
He dropped down a successful sack bunt Sunday against Canada. 2-1. Line drive center field. That's a base hit. Partida scores. Contreras' throw gets Labarine. This game is tied, but Mexico runs into an out at the plate on another outfield assist from Leonard Contreras as Santiago Hernandez delivers.
What a beautiful piece of hitting here by Hernandez. Takes a pitch right back up the middle. Fastball, two-seamer, good hands, one hopper to Contreras in center. What a cannon back home to get him out.
Now Andy Rubio bunts one foul. I mean, look at this throw again.
Look at the poise for first. Fields the ball under control, takes an extra step. Wham! Coming right home. Easy. Catch and throw. Can't teach that at a young level. But Mexico, right back in the game.
Bueno. He's good. I got him. He's good.
Nothing in one on Andy Rubio. 12th man in Mexico's lineup. I mean, it feels like when the Gazelle, Leonard Contreras, is throwing, that he's standing on the second base bag. This was yesterday.
We've seen it once, we'll see it twice. Just a perfect throw. Right over the top. That's how you teach it, folks. Accuracy. Precision.
It is an absolute hose. 2-1. Two on, one out, fifth inning. And 3-1 the count on Rubio from Soto.
You see from Soto here, he's leaving a lot of his pitches up. He needs to command that strike zone. Not try and do too much. Try not to overthrow here. Pinpoint where you want to throw, use your eyes, and let your hands take care of everything else.
Outside, and it's a walk. Loaded for Mexico. How do you do it with your eyes as a pitcher? What does that mean?
Well, you got to have a focal point, and that's the glove. Have your catcher set up a little earlier, give you a spot to throw at. Try and have that control to throw where you need it to be.
Well, this gets precarious for Venezuela because now the lineup turns over for Mexico. Back to the top to Jorge Lizárraga. Chanillo Gutierrez told us that he had two pitchers to use in this game. Well, he's used two of them and now comes out again at 40 pitches for Adrian Soto and a bases loaded bind.
Hey, venga. No pasa nada, no va a llorar. No pasa nada. Vamos, no pasa nada. Vamos.
He says, don't worry about it. We got a tie ball game. This has been a good one. Who will continue on at the Little League World Series? Okay. Team Mexico has come alive with the power of the small ball here in the fifth.
Yeah, we talk about power. All these bunts gone 30 feet of power. And then they come up big with a single there to drive in one. Even though one got thrown out at home plate. Sometimes small ball's big. You have to practice this over and over. And it seems like Mexico has this down pat.
And look how comfy they are in these spots. Remember, in the Mexico region tournament in early July in Monterrey, they lost their first game and then ripped off 7 straight wins to get to this point. And remember here, lost their first game against Japan on Friday, 6-1. Came back and blasted Canada on Sunday. and now trying to come from behind against Venezuela, who didn't want to use Luis Rangel today because you know you're going to have to play tomorrow. And if you win that, you're going to have to play Thursday. Well, he's got to come in. He pitched Friday against Panama.
Left-on-left matchup here.
I got him. He's good. Why not? I got him. I got him.
They're worried about where his footing is in the box. As long as you're on that white part. I like this decision. Fastball, curveball. Let's see what he starts off.
With ball one to Jorge Lizárraga, who we told you about right at the start of this game. 4 for 5, first couple of games coming here. Today he's got a pop out and foul ground to the catcher and a fly out to left. Ineligible to pitch in this game, but he's been an ace too. That's a strike.
There we go. I'm him right there. I'm waiting for that fastball, ready to pounce on it as soon as possible. Might be the best pitch he gets this at bat.
Luis Rangel's 1-1. It's a breaking ball, and it's cued in foul ground to make it 1-2.
Yeah, now you're in fight mode here. That's a very nice pitch by Rangel. That's why whenever you're a hitter, you get to a 1-0 count, bases loaded, you got to understand they got to come at you. And you got to be ready for that fastball. You don't ever want to let that fastball go by, especially around the plate, something you could drive.
He had taken it and then got the curve to make it 1-2. Rangel deals. Strike 3 called. 2 away.
Came back with the fastball there. A very friendly zone right there on this last pitch. Let's see, cut fastball. Good frame job by Sanchez. What a huge, huge out to get their best hitter out.
Luis Rangel, who the coaches say has a tranquilo personality. He's showing it here in a major spot. Now Jonathan Juarez. Oh, glove side command, baby.
Tell you what, to think about what coaches want to do here going left on left. This is a matchup they said if we get to this opportunity, we're going to have to bring him in. Right now, it looks good.
Fishing with the grip and a bunt. Pop foul. Now it's 0-2.
Tried bringing that with him. That would have been perfect because both players are back. He's got speed with a left-handed pitcher falling off the right side of the mound.
Jonathan Juarez, we told you, maybe the fastest guy. He's already singled and walked in this game. Oh, 2. Fouled away. How about the way Janil Gutierrez has managed this? I mean, you're talking about the left on left. For a guy who is teammates with Jason Kubel and Joe Mauer coming up in the Twins organization and played against Ryan Howard and Robinson Cano, he's managing this like a pro game. 0-2 again. Fouled away to left again.
Back-to-back fastballs right there on the outer half. You'd love to see him throw that breaking ball starting out on the outer half and falling off. Might get him to chase, but he's ready to go.
Luis Rangel in attack mode. And 0-2 to Juarez. Comebacker off of Rangel, and a run scores. Mexico leads.
Listen, it was the right pitch. It was the right call. He just didn't get it out over far enough and left it up just a little bit. If that ball gets by him, he's probably out at second base. What a nice swing by Juarez there. You hit it hard enough, good things will happen. And here comes Mexico, the comeback kids.
2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Si lo tiras hacia afuera lo agarras. La dejaste muy alta, es agresivo, pa. Vamos, no pasa nada, vamos a hacer este, vamos.
Just keep the ball down. You left that one too high, kind of like what you were saying. It was the right pitch call. Just you wanted it a little more way and down.
And it's just about execution. And to think they've been here over and over. What could have been, and that's baseball. All would have, could have, should have. It was the right pitch at the right time. He was fouling off all fastballs, just couldn't get down low enough.
Still loaded for Mexico with 2 runs in this inning, still the 2 outs, and the 3-hole hitter and star pitcher of this game, Gael Leyva. He's walked twice so far. 0-1. Boy, and he's got the command to the arm side when he's facing righties. Luis ready with an 0-2. Fouled back. Another 0-2. I mean, to think Mexico ran into an out at the plate early on this inning and yet still has come back, backed by the bunt primarily to lead this.
If I'm scouting this game, I'm telling my team if we do play them, be ready for the small ball, man.
Ground ball up the middle into center field. Hernandez scores. And it's a 2-run lead.
Two-strike hitting is the name of the game. If you can do that, those are called stakes. Taking a cutter on the outer half, right back up the middle. When some is good, more is better. Mexico feeling it right now in the 5th.
And backed by the juice of this crowd from Tijuana, Mexico's got a lead of 2 in the 5th and looking for more. They'll use a courtesy runner for Gael Leyva. You can do this and run for the pitcher or the catcher when there's 2 outs in an inning. It's got to be the guy who made the last out. So in this case, that's Jorge Lizárraga. Comes on to run. And you got your cleanup man in the box. Looking to add on Jamil Mandujano. Takes ball 1 that just misses. Jamil talked about the walk-off grand slam Marco Mejia hit to get here and the emotion that came after it. He said that, look, in the celebration, we screamed, we cried, we hugged. Every emotion you could have felt in fighting off elimination in 7 straight regional games. They've already done it once here, trying to do it again. Rangel's 2-0. Off speed.
Just a bit out in front there. First 2 pitches were close, could have gone either way. I think he's trying to drive one to left field here. His last couple of bats he was late, trying to overcompensate for a fastball. Needs to look for a pitch up.
2 balls and a strike. Rangel to Mandujano. Popped up the third base line, and Sanchez clasps it, and the inning is over. Some is good, more is better, he says, and Mexico gets 3 and leads Venezuela.
Stella! What's happening, sister? Thanks for doing this before your game.
Why baseball? When did you start playing?
When my brothers started playing, they all looked like boys and all that stuff. So I was like, there's no girls out there. And I was like, maybe I could go out there and like show them what I can do.
Just keeps throwing the gas. She is a spectacular player.
You might get struck out by a girl, so.
Yes! You said that Monet Davis is one of your role models. And if you could ask her anything, what would you ask her?
Did you ever like get hate comments because being a girl, it's like different?
All right, Stella, we should get this straight. Is it Weaver Belieber or Weaver Fever? Hashtag it.
Weaver Fever.
Oh, really? Let's start the other hashtag.
You're a rock star. Thank you so much for doing this.
Stella!
To see you play on this stage, too.
Yes. Have fun out there, most important.
We can debate the hashtags. One thing we can't debate, there should be no hatred towards Stella Weaver in any way. What she has done is incredible. And the same goes for her entire Nolensville, Tennessee team. Coming up mere minutes from now against Nevada up at Labadie Stadium. We will get you there when we are done here at Volunteer Stadium on a loaded day at the Little League World Series once again. And by the end of it, we'll be down to 8 teams.
Stella and the fellas. I love that one.
Who coined that? I tried to give credit to Xavier. He says it wasn't him.
I'm not sure either. It wasn't me. I know that.
Check in with Ravi and
she can
Tim.
run too. You see the speed on her.
Fly.
Might be the fastest girl on the team.
Brings up Arturo Sanchez to lead it off for Venezuela, down by 2 in this elimination game. Todd Frazier, Sebastian Salazar, Mike Monaco, and our entire crew with you. Gael Leyva has been outstanding against this Venezuela group. That's a strike, grazing the inside edge.
Not only has he been outstanding, he's done it without striking out many batters. He's letting his defense work. He knows he's got a good defense, so why not just throw strikes? Biggest thing from young men, throw a strike, let the defense help you out. And he throws one over the guy's head.
It was close. Don't be so hard on yourself.
No, all good.
Do you believe in the announcer jinx?
Man, I don't, you know, the whole free throw jinx or whatever it is. Who won? I don't believe in it, but when it does happen, it makes you laugh.
2-1 the count on Arturo Sanchez. One time I was doing a Red Sox game, and we put up a graphic when Adam Ottavino was on in relief that he hadn't given up a home run in, like, I don't know, some super long stretch of batters faced in innings pitched. The very next pitch, gave up a home run. We got crucified.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays on social media, you got to be careful what you say, especially. Poor Adam. I bet he'd tell you, don't worry about it.
Yep. That's a strike, and it's 3-2. It's not a punch out. Full count on Arturo Sanchez. We welcome those of you now watching here on ESPN2. For those of you looking for Tennessee against Nevada, that game will be on ESPN in the next half inning. And this game will continue on right here on ESPN2 or over on E2, depending on where you're watching.
Envasate como sea, un solo golpe. Si es mala la deja. Hey, mira, no vale llorar. Oíste, oíste, vamos.
Janio Gutierrez with more words of wisdom to one of his stars, Arturo Sanchez, the manager who has led this group from baseball-rich Maracaibo and represents the Latin America region here at the Little League World Series with only a dozen teams left. Sanchez asked for time. These guys have heard from big leaguers checking in after games like Elias Diaz, following their journey. 3-2. Sanchez lines it towards short, and Partida makes the catch. And there's one away in the bottom of the 5th. All right, so speaking of big leaguers, Pat Neshek, longtime relief pitcher, was teammates coming up in the Twins organization with Janio Gutierrez. And so when this Venezuela team opened up on Friday, Pat Neshek was here with his son Hoyt watching. And you go back 5 years ago, Pat Neshek was telling our Sebastian Salazar that Janio reached out and said to Pat, hey, would you donate some equipment or any baseball stuff to the area in Venezuela because of how bad it was for them back home? Well, he not only did that, but this year, he and his son also went out and they bought a few more bats for this team and got to give them to this Maracaibo team here in Williamsport.
That is fabulous. I remember Pat, sidewinder, he was really nasty to face. Good for him giving back. Remember his teammates, especially in the minor leagues. There's a lot of guys that you played with that you can remember were great people.
They're very good friends. They got to come together. Alfredo Chacon is in a ton of pain here. Hopefully he's all right. Hopefully one of those that with a little bit of time might feel a little bit better.
Looks like a little midsection there.
His teammates stifle some laughter.
Poor man.
I mean, there's something pure about 12-year-olds.
There is something pure. You hate to laugh, but he did. Said something funny to the boys, and they started laughing. Now they're telling the boys in the outfield. He got hit in the cup, I think. I think he got hit there. Not funny, but funny. We can all get a good laugh after that one. I know that's why I would never catch, just for this reason alone.
It's something you certainly do not show a replay of. And yeah, probably best summed up with what you just said. Not funny, but funny.
Yeah.
And in all seriousness, hopefully Alfredo is all right, even though his teammates are,
the boys,
I wouldn't say super concerned.
Poor man. That might not be the only experience he gets catching.
Did you ever catch?
I caught one time, and it really wasn't fun. Wasn't fun at all.
How old were you?
I was 12 years old. I asked just to catch one time. The kid fouled one off. Forgot to put my right arm behind my back. Stung my finger, and I said, you know what? I think I'm good with this.
Yep. All set. Hey, while we got a moment, for those of you watching here on ESPN, our game continues on ESPN2. For now, let's get you up to Lombardy with Jess, Tim, and Julie. Here is Carl Ravitch. All right, so here on ESPN2, we continue. Mexico, Venezuela elimination game, and Alfredo Chacon rises.
Everybody's giving him praise. We know what happened here. Foul ball to the midsection. Going to take a little time. Just got to breathe it out, walk it out, shake it out. He's back in action.
Oh. He gets dapped up by the batter, Adrian Soto. Whew. I feel out of breath for him.
I feel a little uneasy right now, if you want the truth. Standing up like, God almighty, I know what you're going through, bud.
Gets a few warm-up pitches, and that right hand is in the vicinity for extra protection. A moment of levity in an otherwise pressure-packed game.
Yes.
When it's do or die, win or go home at the Little League World Series, and you want your summer to continue here for a little bit longer. There's one out in this bottom of the fifth. Venezuela down by 2, 5 outs left to play with offensively. And Chacon is just shaking his head behind the plate. Leiva comes up high. 1-2 on Soto. 5-hole hitter for Venezuela. '60th pitch for Gael Leiva is flared into center. Jonathan Juarez for out number 2.
Tell you what, Gael's putting on a clinic here, man. Got to talk about this guy a little bit more. He is manipulating batters, 2-seamers, cutters, breaking balls. He's having the time of his life out there. If it wasn't for 1 inning, 2 errors by the third baseman in that 1 inning in the third, he'd be throwing an absolute gem here, which he is doing.
He is directing traffic as well and telling everyone to shift toward the right field line here. As Aaron Villalobos bats, the first baseman for Venezuela. I mean, the pitcher just directing traffic defensively. Villalobos hovering over the plate. And it comes in on the hands, and Villalobos fouls it off himself. 0-2. And those hurt as well. Especially if you're not used to it the way you are once you have played for, let's say, as long as you did. It's probably a newer feeling.
It's terrible. It don't matter how long you play for. Foul ball off the shin burger, we call it. And you got to give credit to Gael. I mean, it's a two-seamer. Most of these kids haven't seen it, and it's not like it's overpowering. He's not overmatching these guys. It's the movement coming into a batter. Your hands got to stay inside. He did. Nice swing, just a bad part of that.
I mean, the thing is dancing in terms of movement inside to a righty.
And if you're right on top of the plate, better get out of the way.
Villalobos not backing down. He is still all over it and takes strike 3 calls. Gael Leyva having a day. He's only given up 2 hits, and he's got good defense behind him.
Partida coming in on a little looper to short, making it look easy. Beautiful play. Mexico clicking on all cylinders.
The Little League Baseball World Series on ESPN is presented by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Playing pickle is such a classic like that. It was such a simple game to play as a youngster.
Yeah, just fantastic, man. That's all you wanted to do. Anything that dealt with baseball, get that guy out as much as possible.
It's like the only thing that requires the word pegging, like you're pegging people, you know?
And I would throw it at some guys on purpose, just try and hit them in the back. Let them know we're not taking this lightly.
Serious stuff when you're playing pickle. All right, 6th inning, Mexico up by 2. They bat here, and they get insurance. Luis Rangel on the bump for Venezuela. Winner moves on and plays tomorrow against whoever wins later today between Japan and Panama. And the loser is eliminated in this double elimination format. Marco Mejia leads things off from the 5 spot. His 3rd trip to the plate. First pitch swinging a roller to second at Jose Nunez. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 6th for Rangel. We were talking about Mexico's offense early on and how they got production from up and down in their last game against Canada. Well, in this game, they really woke up in the 5th.
Yeah, and it was all on small ball, too. A lot of bunts for hits, a lot of action. Defense wasn't in the right position, and they countered. A couple singles, guy throwing out the plate, but they were moving, and that's what you know. If you know your team, small ball plays a huge factor in these games.
Jorge Villa walked his last time. We focus so much on the kids here, and rightly so. That's what it's all about. But the managing and scouting component is part of this too.
It's pretty real, especially nowadays. You got the kids watching the game, seeing who they might play, coaches trying to figure out when to bring pitchers in and what situations, all that kind of stuff. I love it. I love every second about it, just because they want to win just as much as everybody else. Look at that young man.
What was he eating? Looks like a meatball sub. Yeah, all kinds of advanced scouting. So I popped up toward the seats. Nice catch.
Atta baby.
He could teach you a thing or two.
Gives it to the young man. That's what it's all about. Go give him a high five.
Oh, he wanted it. No E5s on that man, like we had in the booth yesterday. Full count.
Wait, what was that?
People were going after you on Twitter.
They were.
Strong collection of pins.
Solid.
Ronhel's 3-2. Fouled back. All right, so where I get in trouble with the foul balls in the booth, that sort of thing, is I like calling the game off the monitor because I like seeing what the viewer at home sees, and I like seeing the pitches and the shape and how close it was to a ball or strike. But if you do that, you don't get a good look at a foul ball coming right at your pitching.
See, I go back and forth a little bit. I like looking at the monitor. I like watching above. Still trying to get used to it. You've been doing it for a while.
So what have you been doing? Are you monitor or are you field or what?
I'm in between. If there's a 3-2 pitch, I might watch here to see where the pitch was. But I also got my other eye on here too as well.
It's a dangerous game.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. They might have a pitch and change here in hopes that they win this game so he can come back tomorrow.
Yeah, right now, pitch total effectively is below 20, meaning Luis Rangel could throw tomorrow, and that's exactly what they will do. Should they come back in the next half inning, they want to have the services of Luis Rangel. That feels like the right move, right? I mean, you got to make sure you have someone available tomorrow should you get there.
Yeah, and they're going to ride him out if they do win this game and come back. You got to do something, and it might be a pitcher that hasn't pitched in a long time. You have to take your chances here. Hope for the best. Never know.
All right, so again, the winner of this one moves on and plays tomorrow against either Japan or Panama. That's still to come later today at 5 o'clock Eastern time over on ESPN. We know that Curacao and Chinese Taipei are in the winner's bracket. They play tomorrow, and the winner of that game, you see, goes straight ahead at a 90-degree angle across to Saturday in the International Championship. And, well, let's talk a little bit about Curacao and Chinese Taipei. You got to look at Curacao firsthand yesterday. He's Todd. I'm Mike, by the way. Thanks for joining us. And then Chinese Taipei, they've been getting all the headlines because they got a kid that yesterday hit 82 miles an hour in Fanchan Jun.
Yeah, let's talk about Jun. He is pretty ridiculous. Probably the fastest thrower we've seen at this Little League World Series throughout the years. He could pitch in another day. He's going to throw, and he's going to throw hard. He's got an off-speed pitch around 72 miles an hour that I never hit 72 until I was 14, 15 years old. And for him, for Fanchan Jun, everything is precise. It's smooth. He's a bulldog on the mound. And the biggest thing, you got to have a catcher who can catch the ball too as well. And he's been doing a phenomenal job back there, looking sweet. Money. And just look at the average here. MLB average fastball 101. I think it's topped out at 105 how fast he throws. No hits in 6 2/3. That's saying a lot. Curacao, man, you better be ready to play against the guys like this.
He was telling me yesterday the guy who taught him his slider is a former coach of his back in Taiwan who now works for the Padres, who after his first outing here, that old coach got asked by his Padres boss, hey, have you heard of Fanchan Jun? Because they had heard about what he did at the Little League World Series here. This is a bunt by Alfredo Chacon that went foul off himself while he was still in the box.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing. How you learn to throw a slider from somebody. It's a hard pitch to master. It's a hard pitch to concept. Knowing how good you can throw that, and you can throw it at any time in an order, man, it's just another equalizer for him to come through and throw.
After Aaron Villalobos threw his first pitch, the Venezuela manager, Janio Gutierrez, comes out and might want to know if that foul ball went off of Chacon, the batter, while he was in the box or not. I think at least.
Oh, yeah. Got him in the box. That's a dead ball.
So we go on with Jorge Villa at first, Chacon the batter. That's fouled away, and it's 0-2 from Villalobos. This team from Tijuana, Mexico, making its second Little League World Series appearance for this Little League. They were also here, as we told you, in 2013, led by the same manager, Pancho Fimbres. Before regionals, he held a team gathering where he talked about his experience here in 2013. He showed this year's team videos and pictures. This is off the glove of Villalobos, and there's 2 on for Mexico with just the 1 out here in the 6th. And so 10 years later, Pancho Fimbres returns. He's telling us down on the field before the ball game how special it is to be back. He said, it's another dream come true for me, being here. And he does not take it for granted.
Longtime teammate Adrian Gonzalez, he got to see too as well. Those two exchanging pleasantries before the game.
Yeah, I love that. The FaceTime is set up. All the kids are sitting there orderly, and then Pancho pops his head in and waves at his old buddy.
Good to hear from you.
Here's Bernardo Partida. Takes ball 1. So anyway, what I'm kind of doing now with the monitor and field situation is leaning over so I can see both, like you were talking about. You see the monitor, and then if a foul ball is going to hit you in the face, at least you have a little sense that it's coming.
Helps to be a little taller like myself, too. Sorry about your height.
Yeah. So I think Tim Kirchin and I might be the only announcers of our entire great crew here who stand very often when doing the game. How many inches you got on me?
I don't know. I'm 6'3". What do you got?
I say 5'10".
5'9". Okay.
Dang, you're 6'3"?
6'3".
Is that with the J's or without the J's?
6'3.5" with the J's.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 6'2". That sounds right.
See, you're getting it. You get that Jersey swag in you a little bit. You got to be quick with it, though.
1-2 on Bernardo Partida. Walked and scored his last time. Inside, look out. Who could dish it out the best on your guys' Tom's River team? If it's you, I would like someone other than you, please.
No, this
isn't the Frazier
It was
hour
me, of
after
course. On the Tom's River team, I'm trying to think. Joey Franceschini.
Okay, I was hoping I could hear that name. It's the best name out there.
He was great. He was the smallest on the team, too, as well, like you.
Popped up left side and caught by Villalobos for out number 2. How tall did he grow?
He's still pretty small. I don't remember how tall, but he's, I would say, maybe 5'6", 5'7".
Hey, you play Little League with Todd Frazier. 25 years later, don't worry, you'll get roasted for a lifetime on national TV.
He'll be texting me here shortly. I know he's watching the game.
I can't wait. Joey, I'm in this with you, man. This is you and me against him. Around Labarine now bats with 2 outs and 2 on. He had a great bunt single his last time that really set in motion that big 5th inning. They were waiting for someone to cover first for Venezuela. This Mexico crowd has been energized throughout and vocal. Line drive towards short and caught by Osman Wasabe. Doing his part to keep his team within 2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And Venezuela hopes its summer continues. It'll need to be in comeback fashion.
Man, what a play. We have seen some unbelievable dives today and all over the Little League World Series.
Gael Leyva has been dealing.
He has been dealing. He has been hitting, too. Big line drive up the middle for an RBI knock, and he's been doing it on the mound. 63 pitches in 5 innings. Start off with that 2-seamer. Bang, strike 1. Strike 3 there with a backup curve. Then another one. Boom. Sit down. I'm coming in. He's been having a phenomenal day. 1 more inning left. This guy's line is humongous for them from Mexico. This is what they needed. Huge outing for him. He's got 1 more to go, though. Is there any magic left in that tank?
Trying to finish things off and get Mexico to tomorrow. And meanwhile, Venezuela This team from Maracaibo. A journey that started in early July when they won the Latin America region. They rolled through it. 6-0 record. Outscored opponents 46-4. Won their first game here. Dropped a heartbreaker yesterday to Curacao. And now trying to fight on. Down by 2. Luis Vargas, who was the starter in this game on the bump. He leads off for Venezuela. By the way, when we rehearse that package, as it's known, those highlights during the commercial break, you had good sound effects like an umpire would. Why didn't you do that?
It just came out. Ha! Bam! It just depends on how I'm feeling. Ha! There it is.
What's the best? Like a simple fist from an umpire or the full lawnmower?
I'm not a big fan of the fist forward, man. I want to get to the angle, to the side. Boom! Give him something. Be a little theatrical here. It's your time when you call that strike.
Hot shot, right side, sliding stab. Hernandez, one away.
We have talked about the defensive effort this whole Little League World Series. The time came, Hernandez has been playing in that spot all day, waiting for a ground ball. Anybody else that's a single, smooth, silky, from your knees. Nice catch, nice throw. Huge out in the bottom of the 6th here to keep that momentum back on Mexico's side.
Yeah, they've been looking at the heat maps and the spray charts all week, figuring out where to play him, and he has been shaded over toward the line. Now Endrick Avila got hit by a pitch and has scored the only run for Venezuela in this one. Gael Leyva has only yielded the 2 hits. His 0-1 fouled back, and it's 0-2.
Gael's been on cruise control this whole game, even in the 3rd, giving up a run. He stayed stoic, he stayed under control, kept his emotions in order, and that's half the battle.
0-2. On the infield, on a hop. Partida with a rocket launcher. 2 down. Find Little League on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the official handles @LittleLeague. Follow the action and join the conversation with LLWS. Gael Leyva says when he's not playing sports, he likes to sleep. Might be hard to go to sleep after this pitching performance and the adrenaline from it.
Yeah, he's going to look back on this one and remember this. This is going to be a feel-good for him, especially when he's done, you know, he's going to struggle as he gets older, but he can look back on this pitching performance and understand, man, I am good. I am dominant, and I have been dominant this whole game.
Because that's the game baseball is. You know, struggles will come for everyone at some point, but you always have a center point on an outing like this and showing who you truly are on the biggest stage at age 12. He faces Jose Nunez, the last hope to try to continue on for Venezuela. Ball and a strike. This team from Maracaibo came so close yesterday. They led in this game into the 5th as well, facing some of the heavyweights of a loaded international field. That comes in and that hits Nunez. So a man aboard and the tying run comes to the plate for Venezuela, down to its last out.
Not done yet. Tried to get a little cute there with the curveball. Gives a thumbs up to the man over there saying, hey, I didn't do it on purpose. On for the next one.
Nunez aboard and David Pedroso bats. He's had a walk and been hit by a pitch since he's been here in Williamsport. Trying to get on here. Strike 1. Lefa fires. Cranked in the air, foul, and Mexico is 1 strike away. Hope hovers for Venezuela. Meanwhile, for Mexico, trying to win a 9th straight elimination game going back to regionals.
I think he's trying to explain to his batter there. Use your eyes. Don't leak out a little bit with that front side. Stay through it. Be ready for anything. Get on the plate like they've been. For Gael. Keep pounding the zone. Let your defense work. Try and finish this one out.
Leva shakes. Continues to shake. Now has one he likes. And in 0-2. Fouled away in the air. The elimination bracket, the loser's bracket as it is, necessitates doing it the hard way, especially when it comes to pitching. To get a great outing is one thing, and to get an efficient, complete game is another. And that's what Gael Leva is trying to do. 0-2 again. Got him! Mexico stays alive.
Gael getting a big hug from Pancho over there. What an outing by this guy. 76 pitches. Worked all 4 pitches to perfection. Man, if you're looking back on a game for Mexico, this is the one you build off of. Didn't really do it with the big hit. It was all the small ball and base hits. That's all you need sometimes. Curled up, reared back. Oh, painted on the outer half. What he's been doing all game. Great job from that young man.
With words of wisdom pregame from Tijuana's own Adrian Gonzalez. And backed by a 5-time All-Star in the majors, Mexico wins it. A 2-hit gem from Gael Leva, and all smiles. Viva Mexico. They stay alive and move on to tomorrow. Meanwhile, heartbreak for Venezuela, but hats off to them on a wonderful ride to this point. And they played in 2 absolute thrillers the last 2 days after winning another thriller in dramatic fashion on Friday to start their journey here against Panama. They performed quite well here in Williamsport. All right, so the bracket looks like this. We know that Mexico is going to play tomorrow night over on ESPN. Will it be Japan or Panama the opponent? We'll find out when they meet today over on ESPN as well at 5 o'clock Eastern. At 1 o'clock tomorrow, it's Curacao and Chinese Taipei. A reminder, going on right now on ESPN, you can watch the United States bracket here at the Little League World Series. For Todd Frazier, Sebastian Salazar, and our entire crew, Mike Monaco saying thanks for joining us here at Williamsport. Now let's send you to College Football Live.